Liam's life is pretty rough and sad. For almost 10 years, he hasn't had much time to spend with his family. Things at work have gotten better recently, but the only thing keeping him going these days is the love of his wife, Mika, and their daughter, Konami. One evening, when Liam comes home, Mika greets him and tells him about their daughter's day. Konami is already asleep, but Mika says she'd been asking for a dog all day. After seeing a Shiba at her friend's house, Konami couldn't stop talking about it. Liam isn't sure they can afford a dog right now, but when he peeks at his sleeping daughter, he reconsiders. If a dog would make her happy, maybe it's worth it, even if he has to work extra hours for a few weeks to make it happen. The next day, he takes Konami to a pet store to get her a dog. Her excitement makes it all worth it. Mika is surprised Liam agreed to this, knowing it'll add more responsibility to his already busy life. But for Liam, it doesn't matter. As long as his wife and daughter are happy, he can handle whatever comes his way. The next day at work, Liam's boss yells at him for not turning in a report on time. Liam reminds him that he actually sent it on Thursday, but his boss was out partying and missed the email. Somehow, his boss still blames Liam for it. Every day at work feels like a battle for Liam. He has to deal with his careless boss and rude coworkers who take credit for his efforts and blame him for things he didn't do. His job is total chaos. But no matter how tough the day gets, coming home to his wife and daughter gives him the motivation to keep going. The next morning, while riding the train to work, Liam gets a text from his friend Nita. Nita is excited about a new video game and asks Liam to help him buy it. Liam chuckles at Nita's gaming obsession but agrees to help. After getting off the train, he tries to find the store using his GPS. But since he's unfamiliar with the area, he gets lost. While looking around for the store, he unexpectedly spots his wife on a date with another guy. At first, Liam is shocked because Mika had told him she was taking their child to the sports club, but that clearly isn't happening. That evening, Liam gets home from work and casually asks Mika about her day. She lies, saying she just took Konami to sword practice and nothing else. Liam almost admits he saw her on what seemed like a date, but he decides to keep pretending everything is fine. The idea of ruining their happy family is too overwhelming, so he starts to doubt himself, thinking maybe he misunderstood what he saw. Surely Mika wouldn't cheat on him. Needing some time to think, Liam tries to put his computer on standby, but it won't work, forcing him to shut it down completely. As he walks through the city, he finds himself back at the same spot where he saw his wife the day before. This time it's empty, and he feels a moment of relief when he realizes she's not there. But that relief vanishes when he overhears Mika on the phone with the man he suspects is her lover, and to his shock, she brought Konami with her. Liam desperately hopes this guy is just a close friend, but when Konami calls him dad, his whole world falls apart. Feeling shocked, he heads back to work, trying to convince himself that there has to be a reason for this. Maybe it's just a really loyal friend pretending to be Konami's dad when he's not around. There's no way his wife would cheat on him like this. Just then, his boss comes over and starts yelling at Liam for not working hard enough. Liam explains that he's just waiting for his computer to start up. It's been acting weird with the standby mode lately, and for safety, he has to turn it off completely whenever he takes a break. But instead of being understanding, his boss just yells even louder, saying he should stop taking breaks altogether. At that moment, he gets a call from Mika, who tells him that Konami has been in an accident. In a rush, Liam races to the hospital. When he gets there, he immediately asks Mika where Konami is. She tells him that their daughter has already gone into surgery. At that moment, a doctor comes out and asks if they are Konami's parents. After they both say yes, the doctor tells them that their daughter needs a blood transfusion. One of them will have to donate blood, so he asks what their blood types are. Liam says his blood type is AB positive and Mika says hers is O positive. The doctor then asks Mika to come with him to the operating room for the transfusion. Liam, confused, asks why he can't donate instead. The doctor explains that since Konami has type O blood, Liam's AB positive blood won't work for her. While the surgery is happening, Liam does some research and discovers that it's biologically impossible for Konami to have O blood if he has AB. This leads him to the conclusion that she can't really be his daughter. Liam finally reaches his limit and confronts Mika, demanding to know if Konami is really his daughter. Instead of answering, Mika turns the tables on him, accusing him of not caring about their family. She argues that he's never around, and when Liam explains it's because of his late work hours, she dismisses it, saying his job is useless since he never gets raises or promotions. This means he can't give her the life she wants. Liam is shocked by her accusations, but Mika continues, yelling that during their 10 years of marriage, she's hardly seen him and has had to raise Konami all by herself. She conveniently ignores the fact that Konami isn't even his child. Mika tells Liam he's never really been part of the family and declares she's taking Konami and leaving. When Liam asks where she's going, she doesn't respond and heads straight to Konami's room to tell her they're leaving. Liam tries to stop her, but she pulls away, leaving him desperate, and he cries out that he's always done his best for Konami and begs her not to leave him. But then Konami coldly replies that she likes her other dad more, and in that moment, all of Liam's hope disappears. The next day, Liam arrives at work still feeling crushed by his family's betrayal. Things get even worse when his boss calls him in and accuses him of stealing company money. Liam swears he didn't do it, but the boss claims to have evidence. 50 million yen was transferred to a mysterious account, and the transaction records all point back to Liam's computer. As a result, he's fired on the spot. After Liam loses his job, Mika seizes the opportunity to file for divorce and even sues him for child support, even though Konami isn't really his daughter, and the only source of joy he has left is Nita. When Nita texts him about the latest episode of their favorite show, Liam starts to reply that he wants to watch it with him, but he deletes the message instead. He's too embarrassed to let Nita see how messed up his life has become. He tries to stay hopeful, thinking that if he works hard enough, things will improve. But during his lunch break, he suddenly starts coughing up blood. That night, he struggles to sleep as the coughing gets worse and the harsh reality sinks in. He can't even afford a doctor. With no way to get help, he has to lie in bed and wait for the end. Just when he feels his life slipping away, a strange light appears above him and shows him a series of visions. In those visions, he discovers the truth. It was actually his boss who embezzled the 50 million yen using Liam's computer. To make matters worse, that same boss was the one Mika had been cheating on him with all along. Everything Mika said about feeling neglected turns out to be a total lie. She had always seen Liam as just a pathetic loser she could use for cash. In fact, she was part of the whole plan to pin the blame on him for the company's missing money. Liam is heartbroken and finds it hard to believe what he's witnessed is real. Then, a mysterious guy shows up and tells him it's all true. He looks Liam straight in the eyes and asks if he's really going to let them get away with such a terrible betrayal. Finally pushed to his limit, Liam promises to make them pay for everything they've done, even if it costs him everything. The man seems pleased with the anger radiating from Liam and says he's glad he came by, but he never reveals his name. So Liam asks who he is and why he's there. The man explains that he took an interest in Liam because he's a genuinely good person. But Liam isn't impressed. Being good got him nowhere in the end. If he could do it all again, he'd only look out for himself, putting his needs first. Hearing this, the man smiles and reveals his true purpose. He's offering Liam a chance to start fresh in another world. All Liam has to do is pick which world he wants to be reborn into. This could just be a dream he's having as he lies on his deathbed. But if he really gets the chance to pick a new world, he wants to make it count. He recalls Nita talking about another world once, one filled with robots and space battleships. Choosing this path means entering a place where high-tech gadgets and magic mix ruled by kings and nobles. But power usually goes to the rich, and there's no promise of a good life. For all Liam knows, he could end up as a poor farmer, stuck in the dirt while airships fly above and nobles control everything. Luckily, the man likes him and promises to reincarnate him as the son of a count who rules a whole planet, making his next life a bit better. Hearing this, Liam feels relieved that his next life will be an upgrade from his current one. So, with his last breath, he signs the Ice Sky contract and his soul is sent to the new world on planet Hydra. Today is Liam's 5th birthday, and to celebrate, his mom has thrown a party just for him. She has also prepared a special gift. She tells Liam to follow her, and as she walks, a floating spell activates under her feet, which Liam copies. When they enter the next room, he sees a huge cake and a giant box. Excited, Liam rips open his present to find a cube inside. His mom explains that this is a character customization tool for his very own AI maid. With this remote, he can pick any features he wants for the maid, and once he makes his choices, the design will be sent to a company to be made. He can customize things like the ears, mouth, and other body parts. Liam wonders why she would give something like this to a 5-year-old, but she assures him that it's really important. At that moment, his dad comes over and tells him he has a special gift for Liam. It's the whole Banfield estate. Liam can't believe his ears when he hears that his dad is actually ready to give him the entire estate at his age. He asks if his dad is really serious about making him the new count, and his dad says yes. But there's one little catch that Liam has to agree to first. His dad wants to move to the Imperial planet with his wife to live a quiet life, so he tells Liam that to get the estate, he needs to give him a monthly allowance. Liam is so caught up in the idea of having power that he doesn't even think about how weird it is for his dad to give everything to someone so young. So when his dad hands him a contract to sign, Liam doesn't even read it. He just signs it, and once he's done, his dad takes the contract and says he and his wife are leaving. But Liam still doesn't realize that he might have just been tricked, ignoring all the red flags. He focuses on being a count now, and he plans to use that power to make sure no one can take advantage of him again. He knows he couldn't have done it without that guy's help, so he's really thankful. But honestly, Liam probably shouldn't have trusted someone who feeds off of other people's suffering. After Liam is sent to another world, the man decides to cause even more trouble before returning to his own realm. He turns his attention to Mika and Liam's boss, who are still enjoying themselves at the restaurant. Liam's boss jokes about feeling guilty for ruining Liam's life, but Mika quickly retorts that she feels no sympathy for him. In her view, he deserves to suffer for wasting a decade of her life. Suddenly, a group of police officers surrounds the boss and tells him he's under arrest. He protests, claiming there's been a mistake, but the officers have already seen the surveillance footage of him framing Liam for embezzlement. With that proof, they're ready to lock him up for a long time. Now that her rich supporter is going to prison, Mika is left without any financial help, making her feel completely miserable. Meanwhile, the guide is enjoying the chaos and suffering he's caused. The last thing he needs to do is transfer Liam's soul to the other world, where he plans to ensure Liam faces even more pain than he did before. He can't wait to relish every moment of Liam's despair as he realizes how awful his new life will be. Plus, since people in that world live much longer, Liam will have to endure that suffering for centuries. In the new world, a planet is under attack by ghost pirates. Just when their captain thinks they are about to win, several of his crew members suddenly explode. Amid the chaos, he spots Lee's Princess Knight floating in the air. Christiana, the first princess of the Holy Kingdom of Lieb, is an incredible fighter. As soon as she joins the battle, the pirates start to fall quickly. With her help, the Lieb army gains strength and pushes the pirates back. But even as the pirates try to escape, Christiana orders her troops to keep attacking. They need to show those reckless pirates a lesson they won't forget. At the same time, Liam just received his new AI maid and he couldn't be happier. However, he didn't expect her to come wrapped up like a doll. His butler tells him that all he needs to do is touch the package to release her. Following the instructions, Liam does just that, and the maid elegantly lands on the floor. She introduces herself as a Magi, and the butler informs Liam that she will be his personal assistant from now on. He also mentions that a Magi will need weekly maintenance, but other than that, she'll be available 24/7 to attend to Liam's every need. Meanwhile, Liam hasn't been paying attention for a while now, as he's completely focused on examining the assets. The butler asks what he's doing, and Liam says he's just making sure the company followed all his customization requests. Still, the butler warns him that this kind of behavior isn't suitable in front of others. In reply, Liam asks a Magi to come to his room so he can closely examine every part of her, which leaves the butler worried about Liam's innocence. A few hours later, Liam is relaxing, while a Magi gives him a shoulder massage. Suddenly, the butler enters and asks what happened in the room. Liam brushes it off, telling him not to worry. Even though he looks like a 5-year-old, his mind is actually 36. The butler points out that 36 is still pretty young in this world, which surprises Liam. A Magi then explains that the average lifespan here is about 600 years, and people aren't considered adults until they hit around 100. Liam had no idea that people lived so long here, but it makes him really happy because A long life means he can have so many experiences. Plus, having Amagi with him makes it even better. However, the butler warns him that getting too close to Amagi might not be smart since the Empire has a strong dislike for AI. If anyone sees him being too friendly with one, it could lead to some serious rumors. Liam can't understand why people would dislike AI, so he asks the butler for an explanation. The butler tells him that a long time ago, there was a huge war where AI almost wiped out humanity. People were enslaved and nearly extinct. However, a brave group fought back against the AI machines and won freedom for everyone. Those heroes later founded the Empire, which is why the noble class still holds a grudge against AI. But if that's true, why did Liam's mom give him an AI robot for his birthday? The butler admits he was told to keep it a secret. Since Liam is now the new count, he orders the butler to tell him the truth. Reluctantly, the butler reveals that Liam's parents abandoned him and ran away. Liam wants to know what they were escaping from, and the butler explains, "They left you with the huge debt of the Banfield family so they wouldn't have to deal with it themselves." Liam's great-grandfather, Alistair, was a respected man who did a lot for the Banfield family, but Liam's dad was a total loser who ruined everything. Now the Banfield family is in deep debt and has lost all their rights to the resources on their planet. On top of that, their industries have shrunk, leading to almost no tax income, which means they won't be able to repay their debts. Meanwhile, in a bar on planet Hydra, some locals are discussing how their new lord is just a 5-year-old kid. One guy expresses his frustration about living there, remembering how the last new lord imposed heavy taxes for no good reason. For now, all they can do is hope for a better outcome this time. At the same time, Liam is trying to understand everything. If the Banfield domain has been struggling for so long, why would his parents choose to pass their burdens onto their 5-year-old son? He realizes that they must have given birth to him specifically because they wanted to drop their debts on him. In his past life, Liam was treated poorly, taken advantage of, and thrown away like trash. But he vows that he won't let that happen again in this new life. Liam turns to Amagi and asks her to team up with him to make sure his future goes well. Amagi is totally on board to help out because Liam has given her a reason to feel important. Liam feels a huge sense of relief knowing he can trust her completely, and he's really excited about the idea of building a future with her. But first, he decides to share the 3 laws of robotics to keep humanity safe. The first law states that Amagi can't hurt any human. However, Liam realizes he doesn't care about other humans, so he changes the rules. Now, the first rule is that Amagi can't do anything that might hurt him. The second rule is that she has to follow all of Liam's orders unless they go against the first rule. Finally, the third rule is that she must always protect herself, as long as it doesn't conflict with the first 2 rules. Once that's all sorted out, Liam tells Amagi he wants to bring the Banfield domain back to its former glory, and asks if she has any ideas on how to do that. Amagi quickly conducts a search and comes up with an idea. However, before she shares it with Liam, she warns him that her suggestions as an AI robot might not fit with the Empire's values. Still, she promises that she can provide the administrative help he needs for his leadership. The issue is that Liam knows very little about this world. So, Amagi suggests he use an education capsule, a special device that can implant 10 years worth of knowledge into his brain in just 6 months. Plus, it also improves his physical fitness during that time. Liam thinks it's a great plan, but since someone has to manage the Banfield domain while he's learning, he gives Amagi temporary control to handle things while he's away. Brian objects to this, not liking the idea of Liam giving a robot control over the whole domain. But Liam reassures him that it will be fine. Amagi would only do something wrong if he specifically instructed her to. Also, there's no rule against a robot temporarily managing a domain. So he's decided to let her handle everything for now. With the education capsule ready, Liam gets set to begin the process. But before he enters, he has one final question for Amagi. He's curious if she can feel emotions or something similar. Amagi replies that she's not sure. However, when Liam asked her to work with him, her systems detected a memory overflow, which basically means it made her happy. Happy with her answer, Liam confirms that he's putting everything in Amagi's hands as he steps into the education capsule. If you enjoyed this video, think about subscribing and comment if you want part 2.